Now at 5, a story that first shocked Central Texas, then the nation. It's now been a year since Army Specialist Vanessa Guillen disappeared.
Plus, there could be a new jail coming to Concordia County, but some voters are on the fence about it.
And summer vacation season is almost here. Why you could see a surge in prices if you're planning to rent a car this summer. It's Thursday, April 22nd. Good Morning Texas starts now.
Well, speaking of summer, it was spring and then it wasn't. And now what are we doing?
It's Texas. That's all I can tell you, Lindsay. It's Texas. We know the weather could change on a dime. We had it change.
All right, Josh, thank you. A story first shocking Central Texas and then a nation. 1 year ago today, April 22nd, marks the year-long anniversary in the disappearance of slain Army Specialist Vanessa Guillen. Thanks for joining us on your Thursday morning. I'm Lindsay Lippman.
And I'm Joey Horta. A story intensifying with the eventual discovery of Guillen's remains near Fort Hood, a place where the Guillen family says she was sexually assaulted. 25 News reporter Garrett Hoddle live with the week of events to honor Vanessa's memory and the push from the Guillen family for long-term change. Garrett, good morning.
Yeah, Joey, and that's the key word, change. It's a story that was born in shock and horror, and 25 News will be there through it all, giving you updates throughout the course of the day. For now, live in Bell County, I'm Garrett Hoddle, 25 News.
Garrett, thank you. And today the Guillen family and their attorney, as mentioned, will be meeting with members of Congress in Washington, D.C. A press conference commemorating 1 year since Vanessa's death. It's happening at the U.S. Navy Memorial at 10 a.m. our time. Derek Chauvin's conviction marks an important step in police accountability as the echo of the verdict is being felt nationwide and here in Central Texas. Especially true for family and friends of Michael Dean. They're still seeking justice. The father of 3 shot and killed allegedly by a Temple police officer in 2019. For them, seeing Chauvin convicted has them wondering when or if their day will come here in Texas. 25 News reporter Adam Schindler has more.
Michael Dean was shot and killed by former Temple police officer Carmen de Cruz on December 2nd, 2019 during a traffic stop. In Temple, Adam Schindler, 25 News.
Since Floyd died, more than 180 Black Americans have been killed by police, including Dante Wright. He died just miles away from the Chauvin trial on April 11th. Then Tuesday, a 15-year-old girl named Makia Bryant was also killed in Ohio. Earlier this year, Patrick Warren Sr. died in an officer-involved shooting in Killeen. And the majority of Americans are satisfied with the verdict in the Chauvin trial. A USA Today poll shows 71% of those surveyed agree Chauvin was guilty. 12% reject the verdict. Most of those surveyed say they followed at least some of the trial coverage. 62% do not plan to march or protest after the verdict.
The Department of Justice is looking at whether or not the Minneapolis Police Department has a pattern of misconduct following the murder of George Floyd. Investigators will gather information from inside the department while also talking to community members. A Minnesota Department of Human Rights probe is also looking into the department's practices over the past decade. Lawmakers on both sides are talking about what policing overhaul could look like. Democrats want to get something passed by the anniversary of George Floyd's death on May 25th. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed the House without Republican support back in March. Police overhaul legislation needs 60 votes to pass the U.S. Senate and could not do so without votes from Republicans.
Calls to end no-knock warrants grown louder since the death of James Reed in 2019. He died during a no-knock warrant, and a Killeen police officer was also injured. Late last year, the Killeen police chief made the announcement that the city would no longer be executing no-knocks surrounding drug-related offenses, only allowing no-knocks in certain cases after approval from the chief. But a new ordinance has surfaced at City Council that would ban no-knock warrants, and it has the community talking.
It's very hard unless you're looking at every single case individually to make those types of assumptions.
And there really isn't a middle ground, because then you open up a gray area. And whenever you have a gray area, number one, there's liability, but number two, you're still putting people at risk.
Councilmember Brown says Chief Kimball is a little hesitant about removing no knocks altogether, but he will adjust to any decision made by council at next Tuesday's meeting. State lawmakers also pushing for a bill that limits who can approve a no-knock warrant and how law enforcement could use them. The proposed bill would require officers to clearly identify themselves, wear their uniform, and make sure body cams are turned on. It would also limit the hours that a no-knock could be done.
Today marks the 68th anniversary of the devastating F5 tornado that tore through Waco. We'll take a look back at the history.
Plus, we'll hear from a survivor of that storm who was working downtown when the tornado ripped through the city.
And a major U.S. pipeline shuts down for 4 days, how it could impact the economy. It's Tuesday, May 11th, 2021, and Good Morning Texas continues right now.
Connecting Central Texas. This is Good Morning Texas.
Today marks 68 years since the F5 tornado tore through McLennan County, devastating Waco. 114 people lost their lives, with millions of pounds of rubble filling the streets. Decades later, the tornado's impact continues to echo. Thanks for joining us here this morning. I'm Joey Horta.
And I'm Lindsay Lippman. First Alert meteorologist Josh Johns has details on what the city saw 68 years ago. But we begin our team coverage with 25 News reporter Aaron Heft, who's live from downtown with more on the history and how it's shaped the city.
Good morning, Lindsay and Joey. A somber day in Waco history. Reporting live in Waco, Aaron Heft, 25 News.
Aaron, thank you. In recognition of the anniversary, the Waco City Cable Channel is airing programs featuring stories of survivors and rescue workers from that fateful day. Here's a look now at the programming schedule. It all kicks off at 10 a.m. and runs throughout the day.
Well, several years ago, 25 News spoke with a survivor from that fateful day. Cullen Smith was in downtown Waco working at the Alico building as a lawyer when that tornado tore through the city.
I was in the law library with Hilton E. Howell, and we were doing some research and getting ready for a lawsuit, and it began to rain. And then water began coming through the window like the window was open. I'd never seen anything like it.
And then came another moment like nothing Smith had ever seen.
I went over to my office and there was debris coming through the sky, the air, everywhere. It was not just a little bit of trash, it was all kinds of things, and it was moving horizontal, not falling.
Well, Smith told us he hopes the city never forgets what happened that day. Just fascinating to hear the survivor accounts, but thankful that we have warning systems in place now.
Yeah, very thankful we have warning systems in place, because now we can get a 30-minute heads up, usually, of when one of those is coming.
I would just encourage people, this for me started as an embarrassing accident where I, accidentally gave him a bag of sauce instead of a meal. So don't ever underestimate the power of just kindness.
What starts as an accident ends up going viral on social media, creating a lifelong friendship that's now touching the hearts of millions. First on 25 News, reporter Kendra Benson has the story that changed the life of a homeless veteran and a Baylor alum. Love a happy ending there, and if you'd like to help Clint out, we've got his GoFundMe information. It's at the bottom of your screen right now, and will also be on our website later on this morning. An update now this morning to a story you saw first right here on 25 News. A Mart woman who received a kidney donation from her daughter's former basketball coach has some good news. Nikki Rush Freeman says her surgery on January 13th went well. She and Coach Jerry Hoffman are recovering well, and they are also encouraging everyone, especially living donors, to give it a shot and help save a life.
If you feel like you're called to do it, then definitely do it. I've thanked Jerry so many times that she's sick of hearing from me, but she's also told me that this has been the biggest blessing that she's been able to do in her life, and it's totally changed her life and her outlook on life, as it has for me too.
She's staying at a hotel in Dallas while undergoing weekly checkups at the hospital, but she's hoping to be back home by next Friday. When we come back here on Good Morning Texas, we'll hear from an up-and-coming country music star on his writing process. Don't go away.
It's 5:52. Kentucky Fried Chicken introducing new packaging this summer. Just take a look. This is a preview of the new look. The chicken chain says it's a, quote, more modern take on KFC's signature red and white colors. I don't see the difference. Do y'all? The indelible image of Colonel Sanders will still be on the buckets, sandwich wrappers, and cups. KFC said it's also adding reheating instructions, along with reviving the "It's finger licking good" slogan on the buckets. KFC worked with Sustainable Forestry Initiative and Forest Stewardship Council to develop these recyclable paperboard containers.
All right, well, it turns out even birds are having trouble dating. Chicken is in short supply, and Tyson's partly blaming its roosters. The company says it's tried out a new kind of rooster. The birds are not living up to their get up and go farmyard stereotype. Now Tyson is trying a different type of rooster. It's bringing in the original kind of male birds to roost, and it's not just the love lives of birds causing the shortage. Tyson says the winter storm affected its operations here in Texas. First it was ketchup, now it's Chick-fil-A sauce. The fast food chain experiencing a shortage of sauces. Right now, customers will only be given one dipping sauce per item. The company says it's having supply issues, but it's working to fix the problem as quickly as possible. You guys gonna be okay?
See, here's the thing.
I'll be fine.
I've prepped for this.
Open up the top drawer of
Yeah, I
Josh's
prepped for.
desk,
Oh no, I brought them out.
you might-
I'm gonna start auctioning them on air.
In
You
your
have
pocket?
them with you.
I got them right here.
No, you told me yesterday that was honey mustard. Don't you try to fool us, Josh.
I'm not trying to fool y'all. I'm trying to
Bring it
fool the
closer
viewers
to the
at
camera.
home.
What is it?
I'm trying to make a hustle. No, it is honey
I don't
mustard.
believe you.
It is
It's
honey
honey
mustard.
mustard. That's
But-
not the sauce they're talking about.
I think I also have Chick-fil-A sauce in my drawer. These came out of Matt's drawer.
I'm going to go look in one of our producers' drawers because she's been working at home since like last March. And she always has a hoard of plastic eatware. Don't throw it. If it bursts, it'd be terrible.
Well, my thinking is I don't want it to burst in my pocket while I'm sitting here
Okay.
doing the weather.
That
So
could be
I'm,
bad.
I'm just going to chuck it on the ground there.
That could be real. This is all a big mess waiting to happen.
Oh,
I know.
Lord.
I'm going
Let's
to
move
step
on
on
to
it on the
weather.
way out.
Who knew that this Chick-fil-A sauce shortage would cause such chaos in the studio?
I have some in my drawer though, so I may have to post it on Facebook and start auctioning it off.
All right.
Does
well,
it have an expiration date?
It
Or is it
might.
like Twinkies?
Probably.
All right, let's get to the weather because
It's
we're running
probably
out
at
of
least
time.
two years or more.
Yeah, for just at least 2 years or more. Yeah, let's talk about the weather real quick because here's the good news. When it's quiet like this, we can joke around.